Okay. Can everyone hear me all right? Are we all here and ready to lock in? Oh, no worries, Joy. I could see your message that just came in. Let me hold on. Let me hook up the chat so I can highlight some of y'all, some of the messages that are coming in. Let's see here. Okay, let's go through here. So we've got Margot. Welcome in, Margot. By the way, I hope you guys are ready to freaking lock in tonight because I know I need to. Sersha, hello. For those of you that don't know, I have to update my thumbnail, but my next stream, I have some guests coming on for the first time, so I'm going to have CK, Sersha, and Ash. It's going to be great. So everyone should be there or be square. Ian, welcome, welcome. Ian, I hope you're doing grand tonight. I hope you're doing grand. Let's see. Joy, thank you for dropping in, Joy. Also, Joy gets an MVP award because this Thursday, let me double check this. I swear the days are blending together. Okay. So Joy graciously agreed to let me hop on stream with her and Hannah this Thursday. So instead of doing a stream on my channel, I will be over on Joy's channel. So make sure to go over to her channel and hit the notification button for Thursday if you usually come here on Thursdays. I will be over there. Art's here! Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm so excited. The team is stacked tonight. Okay. Oh, Dobby, I can totally hear this in his voice. The all right, all right, all right. Like, I love that. Okay, Miles is here. There we go. Let's see. Hold on. All right, Dommy's here. Saw a message from her earlier. Ash is here. Margot, ready to get those sweet words in. I am with you. Me too. Let's see. Beth is here. Good to see you, Beth. Always good to see you. Let's see. I do need to click in here. Okay. Joy. Yeah, this is the one I saw when I first changed screens. I totally get it. Like, no worries. You gotta do what you gotta do. I can't tell you how many times on one of Cody's streams I'm like cleaning or doing laundry or doing dishes. So whatever you feel is productive is what I want you to focus on right now. Just happy to have you here. Miles, finally got some momentum on this fic chapter, so I'm taking advantage before it inevitably becomes an altercation with the manuscript again. I feel that. Isn't writing just a constant ebb and flow? I feel like it's all like highs and lows. Sometimes you really feel the momentum and your muse is really active, and then other times they disappear on you. All right, let's see. Saoirse says, yes, I'm ready to finish this scene that I'm working on. Girl, me too. I've been working on chapter 8. I was setting up, scheduling my next few streams today, and in my title, I always put like what I'm working on. And I was like, oh my god, this is like my 6th time writing, working on chapter 8. I really need to move on from chapter 8. Margot is ready. Ian is good. Okay, good. Sarita, hello, Sarita. I loved your stream the other day. Let's see. Joy says hello. Dom says woo. Yay, it's going to be a blast. Yes, I'm so excited. What a great lineup. Yes. And I actually am working with, I messaged with a few people about maybe doing some streams coming up with some other people. I don't want to do it too often because, believe it or not, I'm actually quite introverted. I get really anxious about that kind of stuff, but I want to push myself to try and like be more active in the writing community. So I'm gonna try and like scatter them in, you know, every once in a while. Um, oh, glad to hear it, Ian. Genuinely, really glad to hear about it. Had you in my thoughts over the last couple days. Let's see, Mouse says, hell yeah, the streams this week are bangers. Yeah, I feel like the lineup is killer. I was looking at the spreadsheet and I was like, banger, banger, banger. Like, it's solid. We are going to have a productive month coming up, I feel like. Um, my muse must have other clients more important than me. I share that feeling. I share that feeling. They must, right? At times, because they disappear on me too. Sarita, OMG, thank you. Was nervy, can't Right today, showing support while working. Up, no worries. Totally get it. I know this hits at weird times for different people, but yeah, happy to spread the word. Definitely thought the stream was great. You guys did an awesome job, and I can totally relate to feeling nervous. The first couple times, like I still get really nervous coming in here, so totally relate. But couldn't even tell. You guys did awesome. So, all right. So that being said, like I said, I hope you guys are ready to lock in, team, because I need to. I have not written, I'm gonna totally confess, I have not written since the last stream at all. Haven't touched my story. Uh, so yeah, I've been a bad writer this week. I need to up my game. So I am ready to like completely get into sprint mode and just get cranking. Let's see. Sersha says, I'm so impressed you can do solo streams. Okay, I have to say this. I used to do this a lot more years ago. Over the pandemic, when it very first hit, I got like a decent following on TikTok. Nothing crazy, right? But I think at my max, I was sitting around 26,000, and I would do live streams on TikTok and Twitch. And I did a bunch of different stuff. I did like cooking and games and trivia and all kinds of stuff. And I personally think solo streaming, if you can just rip off the band-aid, it just isn't it isn't as bad as you think it is, I guess is what I would say. Because I'm definitely a more introverted person. If I can do it, you can do it. Trust me. When I was like emailing people today to see if they wanted to stream with me, I was rereading the messages like 30 times before sending it. Like that's how anxious I get. So believe me, if I can do it, you can do it. um, let's see. Yeah, I promise you it's not as hard as you think it is. I mean, in my opinion. I'm sure it's different for everyone, but like, yeah. Yeah, it's not as impressive as you think it is, I promise. I was making very dorky, like fandom type stuff. So it just hit the algorithm, but it wasn't like it was anything that great. So it was very dorky. Um, let's see. Yeah, just I'm telling you, just rip it off. Like, and if you get anxious too, a good tip I would say, and I think I'm not sure, but Dami, do you ever stream on Twitch? For some reason, I thought I read that somewhere about you or saw it in a description or something. But if you go on Twitch, that's like a primarily live stream platform, and there are a million people streaming by themselves. And I think that might give you some confidence too. If you watch that and you go, okay, if like thousands and thousands of people can do it, I can do it, you know, and they're just chilling at home just like I am doing this. So that might help if you're a little anxious about it. But all right, that being said, are we ready to jump into some sprints? How are we feeling, guys? Because I know I need to get some words in tonight. Okay, Dami says, and I'll pull it up in 2 seconds here. Sometimes my live chat, for some reason, that I highlight from just takes a second to like buffer. Let me see if I clear it, if it'll. I'm sure it'll pop up in a second here, but oh, here we go. Yes, Sersha, rip the band-aid off. Dami, I did stream on Twitch, video games and some writing sprints well before YouTube. I'm telling you, that's I feel like, yeah, it's a good place to go if you're thinking about doing lives, for sure. But that's really cool that Dami that you did. I wonder what video games did you do? I'm just being nosy now, but I feel like I never really did too many video games, but it seems like from what I can tell on there, uh, you're almost in different like clicks based on what game you what your regular games are. But anyways, all right, let's see. Let's lock in. Let's do this. This is what I love to hear. Spin the wheel. Spin. I love this. Spin the wheel. We love the wheel. I love the wheel too. I love the wheel too. Ash says, I love the wheel. I get so hyped. I do too. Like, I don't know what it is about it. Hollow Knight. I have to look that up. I haven't heard of that one. I gotta look that up. I never was like die hard into the gaming part of it. I just did like a few games here and there. So I need to learn more about that for sure. I'll have to look that one up. All right, here we go. We're going over to the wheel, everybody. Fingers crossed. You've got 10 seconds to throw your predictions in the chat. Let's see. Let's get us over here. 20 seconds to put in those predictions. Oh, and Dami, I see your chat. Had like 20 subs and 2 people in chat at any point in time, but streaming to 0 is, it really is. And honestly, I did that for a long time, even starting on YouTube. I was streaming alone for like 3 hours at a time, my first few streams. So I feel like if you can sit and talk to yourself with 0 people watching, it's a great way to rip the band-aid off, and then it's that much easier once you do have people watching, for sure. That's actually really great advice, Dami. Okay, here we go. Yeah, this is the message I was just talking about. Let's see right here. Okay, there we go. Now it's buffered up. All right, Ian says an hour. Dami says 45. Ian, why are you bringing that in here? Ian always coming in with the 1 hour. I mean, I'm just kidding. You do what you like, you know. But Ian always comes in hot with the 1 hour. Dami says 45. Beth says 35. See, 35. That's more my speed to start with, you know. Saoirse, get close with 40. You know, 35, 40. That's my comfort zone. All right, let's hit it. Let's see what happens. Yeah, Ian, I see that little hee hee over there. All right, here we go. All right, 45. Dami got it. Dami nailed it. All right, well, here we go with a cute little 45 starter. I guess that's not too bad, actually, in all honesty. 45 isn't that bad. You know, it'll give us time to really ease into it. Yeah, Dami. There needs to be a way. You know what I need to make? Because I code a lot of my widgets. I wonder if there's a way. It's harder with YouTube than it is with Twitch to like integrate them, you know? Because Dami, you'll know about this, but on Twitch they have like the commands you can type in the chat and it'll affect what's on the screen. But I should come up with some sort of like board for people that are here regularly, and you can get like a gold star if you guess it right or something. You know, that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, Miles says, "Yeah, let's go." All right, Saoirse's ready. 15 minutes shy of perfection, but we'll take it. Hey, Ian, you may still get your wish tonight. I'm just saying, you may still get your wish. Saoirse says, "I'm excited." Nice, yeah. Yeah, see, Dami, you're with me. I think that'd be a good idea. But we'll see. Maybe down the line. All right. Because that one would take me a while to figure out. But, all right. We have 45 minutes on the clock. I wish you all luck, troops. I will talk to you in a cool 45. Here we go. did that one go for everyone? How did you do? I didn't kill it personally, but I got 359 words. And I did think through like a part of my story that I'm pretty proud of, that I was struggling with quite a bit. So I consider that a win. But let me know in the chat how you all did. And it doesn't have to be word counts. If you're doing something else, like, feel free to share that too. Even if you want to just say, I finished washing 10 dishes or something, you know, whatever you want to throw in there. But just let me know how the sprint went. Because we'll take just a couple minutes to chill and chit chat before we jump back into before we spin the wheel. And see what happens. Oh, let's see, we got some progress here. Alright, also, big welcome to Tia, who came in during that sprint. So, let's see, Saoirse says she wrote 701 words and finished the scene I was on. Snaps for Saoirse. Yeah, I don't think I've ever written 700 words. Well, I've written 700 words in an hour before, but definitely not in 45 minutes. That's admirable. Respect. Ian says, went all right. I had to read back a bit to remember where I was. Got 224 words. Perfect. Hey, quality over quantity, you know? Sometimes you gotta just take a minute to make sure that what you're writing is gonna stick, right? You don't want to end up in a position like I did where I had to erase like 900 words last stream because I just knew I had written in the wrong direction, essentially. Margot says, finished editing a chapter that I was stressing about. Yes. For the win, Margot. That's awesome. It's always nice getting over a big hurdle. Saoirse says, that was such a perfect amount of time. You know, we say this every time. This is what's so funny. It's every time, you know, whenever I think about getting the longer sprints, I'm like, oh, I don't want a longer sprint, especially to start out with. But actually, it works out pretty well in the end. It's a good amount of time to, like, get into it, right? To, like, get your head back in the story and then get some work done. Miles got 505 words. Wow. Wowza. Y'all had some great progress. Ash says, I figured out the purpose of some characters. Nice. We love a good solid character arc. I feel like that is something, that definitely develops, like, as you go. Do you guys feel that way? Like, I know you can map it out ahead of time, but that is something I have realized, even with my outline. There are certain characters that as I go, not all of them, but some of them I definitely feel like pull me in a different direction, and I have to, like, kind of course correct. Yeah, Ian's saying, good job, Saoirse. Let's see. Miles says, man, I am having such a conflicted time writing a married couple where one of them is very much in love and the other wants to leave so bad. Like, he's a good man, but we have gay stuff to get to. Oh, love it. Love it, love it. Oh my gosh. I love that, Miles. That's great. I'm excited to hear how that progresses. I love a story that's, like, not, I don't want to say, like, okay, I love cliche stories too, right? But, like, I feel like someone struggling in a marriage, that's, like, pretty realistic, more than people realize, you know? So probably more relatable than people realize. So that's cool to hear you're writing about something like that. Saoirse says, yay, Margot. Of course, Beth comes in with, like, just slaughtered the sprint. 1,217 words. Sometimes I hate being able to type fast on these sprints. Why? There's nothing wrong with that. You're killing it. Be happy. It's a good thing, Beth. All right, Margot says, thanks, Saoirse. Let's see. Oh, Stu is here. Stu, I finally see you out of the Discord. I'm a total lurker in the Discord. I barely type, but I do try to read most things. I'm gonna eventually gather up the courage to participate, but I do recognize Stu from the Discord. Yeah, Saoirse, I feel the same way. Beth always amazes me with how many words she gets in. It's wild. Yeah, Ian's congratulating Beth also. Let's see. Finished copying product info over for our website. Mindless but needs done. Look, sometimes the admin stuff is the hardest stuff to do, you know, or to, like, motivate yourself to do. And sometimes body doubling, it really helps with that stuff. Yep, Miles killing it, exactly. Oh, Sir says, Stu! Does anyone here listen to, I doubt you do, but does anyone listen to the podcast My Favorite Murder? I doubt you do, but anyways, if you do, um, they used to have a podcast producer named Steven, okay? And they always were like, during the podcast, they'd be like, Steven! And now I'm tempted just because I love his name so much. Every time I see Stu, I'm just gonna be like, Stu! Oh, let's see. Miles says, yes, character purpose and everything only comes to me during the discovery draft. I definitely think so. I feel like I didn't realize, too, that some of my characters I wrote, um, really one in particular. Most of mine have panned out okay, but one in particular, as I was writing her, I was like, man, she's not, likable. You know, like she doesn't have enough depth. So yeah, some of that I feel like some of that only can get exposed through the discovery draft for sure. Margot says Evelyn sprints always have that little extra something that gets us all super productive. Margot, you gonna make me blush. Stop it. But also I love it. Serena says also clocked off from job work so I can officially clock in for fun work. That's what I'm talking about. Come to the dark side. Join us over here, Serena. Get some words in. Happy to have you. Let's see. Stu says, OMG, I feel famous. You should feel famous because I'm telling you, now it's going to be every time you come in, I'm going to be like, Stu! He's a Discord legend. That's the impression I got. I'm still pretty new to the Discord, but yeah, I get the impression Stu's pretty popular. Man, I never think about how many people are just lurking. I know. It's like so weird because I actually for my next vlog, no joke, was thinking about doing like a not so much for Discord, but more for YouTube. I was thinking about doing like a I don't know how I would say it, but some sort of like support catch up vlog where I want to go through and watch like all the vlogs for YouTube for other author tubers that are sitting in my like watch later playlist, and I want to like catch up and I want to push myself to like them and leave comments and stuff. And yeah, just call it like a support catch up vlog or something. And then I could mention maybe like some of the author tubers that I'm watching and like the vlogs that I'm going to watch of theirs and stuff like as I go. Obviously I won't include their vlogs, but I could just say like, okay, now I'm going to watch this person's vlog. This is like what it looks like and I'm diving in, because I'm horrible about like actually participating. And it's not that I don't love everyone and all the content and stuff. I just get really anxious that I'm going to write the world's stupidest comment or something. I don't know why I get in my head about that, but I really do. Let's see. Y'all are like lagoon creatures, really, really, like the Lady of the Lake or like the Loch Ness monster, where you see just the eyes like pop up above the water. Let's see. See, first rough draft I write so fast. That's why I hate revision because it's so slow. But I heard a phrase once that was like you can't revise an empty page. So I think getting words down. I personally think getting the first draft done, in my opinion, would be the hardest part because it takes so much discipline just to sit and get the words down on paper, And then I would imagine once your story's on paper, you're like so passionate about revising it because it's there. I would think it would at least be more enjoyable, but I don't know. I haven't gotten to that part in the process yet. I'm still on my first draft, and I'm still very early in the first draft. Pretty much, I'm like a third of the way through, but. Let's see. Searcha says, I'm always lurking in the Discord, but I'm trying to be more active. Yeah, see, we're on the same page. We're on the same page. I feel like I haven't found my opening yet, to jump in too much. I feel like after I do some group streams and can connect with people here where we can like see each other, then maybe I'll feel more comfortable, Sometimes it's just hard when you're like typing to someone where you can't see their face, and like I also feel like I'm sometimes really sarcastic, which doesn't translate well through like messaging, so that makes me a little nervous too, a little hesitant, but like I said, hopefully after the streams, hopefully after I get to know you guys a little better, I'll get better. And Sersha, you can work on that with me. We'll do it together. Margot says, I go through phases of lurking and talking. Well, Margot, I see you on there. So yes, I guess you do, but I see you on there. Let's see. Sersha says, oh my gosh, I'm so behind on all the vlogs. Yes, like all the author tubers that put up the all the prime, author tubers that did that big retreat recently. I've watched a bunch of them. And then I was sitting there and I was like, I didn't comment on a single one, and they did a great job. It was like works of art, and I need to go back and comment because I'm being a bad follower. I gotta be more active, gotta push myself. Same, Margo. Sometimes I just want to be nosy, Like, Stu says, just respond to me. I'm always yapping. All right, Stu. I'm glad. There's my opening right there. Stu just gave it to me. Let's see. I've been in a talking phase lately. That's good. I feel like maybe it's the nice weather, Like, I do feel like sunshine kind of helps with that stuff. I say that as we're having a rainy day here today, actually, but so that maybe that's not it. I don't know. But I do feel like spring and summer, like I always know around this time, all my IRL friends, as the kids say, they all are going to hit me up when it starts getting nice out to hang out. And sure enough, I've been getting so many texts. I mean, I'm already booked through like, I don't even know, practically through August for hangouts because I do not hang out with more than one person a week. I have a social barometer and it gets maxed out real quick. So I am literally booked up like through August because I just can't, can't keep up. Don't have the energy for it as an introvert. Let's see. Nope, I hate revision. If I was just doing this for fun, I'd move on to a new project after the rough draft. But because I want to publish and make it presentable, I have to revise and revise. I get that, Beth, and I respect that. I respect that. Like I said, I haven't even hit that point, so I really don't. Oh, Stu, you subscribed after all this time. By the way, also as a disclaimer, I do not support J.K. Rowling. Okay, I am a Harry Potter fiend, which is why my sub, a lot of the gifts kind of change depending on where you sub from Twitch, YouTube, whatever. But I do not support her. Okay, I just am an avid Harry Potter fan. Okay, but I do like to make that disclaimer, especially nowadays. So, but Stu, happy to have you here. Let's see. But yeah, I get it. It's definitely not all fun for sure. Saoirse says, yes, I'm getting much better at just jumping in because I know most people by now, I think, so it feels easier. Yeah. I kind of had a moment today when I was like asking in the Discord for if anyone wanted to stream with me in the future, and I was just like, I really had to sit for a minute and go, if I don't ask, like if I don't put it out there, if I just sit here, it's not like people are going to come to me and be like, hey, can I come on your stream? Do you know what I mean? So I kind of knew, I was like, I need to put it out there if I want to find that community and bring them onto my stream. So yeah, got to put yourself out there. Let's see. Yes, once you know people, it's so much easier. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping. And I'm getting to know a lot of you through the chat too. I think it's okay if you don't comment too. Don't feel pressured. Sometimes you just want to watch a video. Yeah, oh no. And like, let me say too, I'm putting this on myself. I don't feel that way about like other people. Do you know what I mean? But I feel like I'm just holding myself to that standard because I feel like I absorb so much authortube and don't comment. And it does feel after a while, I feel a little bit like I should at least give something back. Like just to even just a sprinkle of support here and there because I watch so much of it. Like I really should comment every once in a while. Not I don't need to do it all the time, but every once in a while I should at least spread a little sunshine, right? Sprinkle your daily dose of F that horrible woman. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I don't even know, like, I'm not even gonna go on a tangent on here. I'm gonna try to, like, make this an escape where I don't talk about, it too much, but yeah, I have a lot of feelings about the hate going around right now in the world in general. So, and she is not helping at all. It's just like, Jesus Christ. But anyways, we're going to escape that here and enjoy our writing. But yeah, I'm with you. F that horrible woman. She is a great writer. I'm not going to take that from her. But when you're doing shit like that, it really becomes hard to separate the art from the artist kind of thing, Like, I don't know. I think you can only do that to an extent, so it's hard. Yes, community building starts with bold choices. Definitely. I agree. Well, I can definitely say I'm really happy to have the community that I have on here right now, not to be cheesy or anything, but genuinely, when I was doing my first few streams, I was literally on here by myself for like 3 hour stretches. I mean, it didn't last too long because I think Ian was one of the first ones to start like regularly coming in and sitting with me, but um, yeah, thank you guys so much for like coming on here. I really, really do genuinely appreciate that you all actually show up and support and write with me. Let's see. The vent and support channel in the Discord is an excellent place for that if you ever need, because I'm there with you. Okay. Noted. Noted, Miles. Yeah, Ian's an MVP for sure over here. I got a lot of love for Ian on this channel, for sure. I feel like a lot of people hold Ian in a pretty high regard. He's a diehard supporter, for sure. I think Ian, Beth, and Margot were my first people to really start kind of like hanging, which I greatly, greatly appreciate. So, but now I'm just thrilled to have everybody here, get to know everyone a little bit. So, I will say before we jump into the next sprint, can I give you all a quick story time because it relates to like what I'm working through in my story, just to like tell you guys the brain blast that I had while working on this. Ian is all of our dads coming in to sit in an empty room with you, just chilling in his recliner. That is actually a great like analogy, I guess. Is that the term for it? Uh, Dad to all of us. No, I get it. I get what you I get what you were saying, Miles. Margo. I'll just tell you this is a quick story, but um oh, Ian, you're getting lots of love here. Saoirse just wrote you a nice. It's taken a second to buffer here, but I'm going to read it. It says, "Shout out to Ian for being amazing and spreading the love to everyone. I see him supporting like every single author tuber out there." Agreed. And I feel like that genuinely takes a lot of time and a lot of love and a lot of like empathy and energy to do that. So, I mean, just know, Ian, not to be cheesy, but I definitely feel like you are very much seen in this authortube community and very much appreciated for sure. Um, yeah, my highlight chat is every once in a while it gets like almost maxed out, so it takes a minute for it to buffer, and then it's right as rain. So I'm gonna read some of these for a minute, but yes, story time we love. Okay, and it'll be a quick story time, and it's a good story. I really think you guys will get a kick out of it. Ian says, "Haha, I'll take it, Miles. Everyone's awesome." And then Miles says, "Mwah, we love you, Ian." Yeah, definitely, we all love Ian over here. All right, here's my quick story time, right? And what I'm about to share with you guys, it kind of is going to play into my story, so just, keep it a secret, okay, between me and all of you watching. But, anyways, so this chapter that I'm working on right now, how do I say this? Yeah. Oh, and Beth says, let's see. Beth says, and if you want honest feedback for your writing, Ian is a great critique partner. So yes, we need to give Ian a shout out on that front too, because I have heard that actually, definitely. Ian says, "Oh, don't make me feel sorry, Ian. It's what you gonna get. It's what you get. That's your payback for putting the 1 hour juju in the feed." All right, so in the chapter I'm working on right now, I basically have a bunch of people being lowered down. Oh, hold on. My dog's barking at another dog. We just gotta wait it out a second. Hold on. This should pass. If not, I'll get up and take care of it. But all right, they passed. So in the scene that I'm currently working on, I have basically a room where people are being lowered. They're being sorted into two teams and then lowered into a labyrinth that's in the dark, pitch black. Okay. And I was like, how are these people going to navigate this labyrinth, right? Like it's pitch black and they can't, and another part of this is they can't really talk to one another, right? Because the teams are kind of working against one another. And if they talk, they'll be heard, right? And so I was trying to think like, what's a quick way that they could work together in the dark without speaking, right? Okay, hold on. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. We have anyways, I'm not even going to talk about it, but basically we're in prime time at my apartment where like everybody's walking their dogs. So geez Louise. But anyways, Lyle says I'm a 1 hour vibe enabler. You know, sometimes I like the 1 hours too. Just not necessarily all the time. Oh good. Miles says loves it. The suspense. Nice. Okay. I'm glad you're with me on this because I was like, okay, it's a little out there if you don't know the you know, premise, but Saoirse says, "Oh, I see a kitty. Yeah, that's Walter, named after Walt Disney. He's an orange kitty cat, and he will not let me hold him up for the camera. I've tried once before, and it did not go well. Had scars on my hands for a hot minute. So maybe down the line I'll get Walter up to the camera, but for now he's a big chicken. But yeah, and then the puppy, he's not quite a puppy. He is 6 years old, little over 6 years old, but that is Mike Wazowski. And if you notice that he is missing an eye, just know that I adopted him that way. I did not do that to him. But yeah, he is, because of the one eye, named after Mike Wazowski from Monsters Inc. But I often just call him Mikey. So yeah, you might see him bop around in the background here and there. But anyways, all right, so in this scene, they're lowered down into the labyrinth in the dark, and I was like, how are they going to work together? And then this memory came back to me. So I used to do pretty hardcore competitive soccer, okay? I'm talking like I had no life. I was on like 3 soccer teams, no life, okay? And I used to go every summer to this, me with my 3-legged cat. Yeah, he came that way. Yeah, I feel like I need to tell people that because otherwise they look at me like I'm a monster or something. They're like, how did you let that happen to your dog? But he came that way. Walter, Mikey, yeah, those are my babies. My babes. You would typically, because we've all been lowered into labyrinths. Hold your hand to a wall and never take it off unless you've traveled the whole thing. Okay, Ian, no joke, one of my main characters, that's kind of how he's navigating it, is he like pushes himself into it. He finds a corner and then traces the maze from that corner. Miles said, I knew you were a soccer kid. I could see it. Let me tell you, these thighs were made to be on the field, okay? I got soccer player legs, and that's just how it is. But anyways, so every summer I would go to this really intense soccer camp up in the mountains, okay, where we were all in cabins. Our teams, we had a couple teams that would go because we had kind of like an A team, B team kind of thing going. We would all go up in the mountains, and it was the kind of place where we had to run the mountains before we could eat breakfast. Okay, like you didn't get food in the morning. You didn't have your phone on you at all. You weren't allowed to have your phone on you. That got confiscated when you got there. And you would run through the mountains before you were allowed to have any food in the mornings. Okay, like it was hardcore. And they did this thing called a team challenge. All right, they would do, well, they were team building exercises, right? But they would do these team building exercises sporadically throughout the week. And one of them really came to me. It like came back to me as I was writing this. They took us all in the middle of the night. They woke us up. By the way, this is not anything like bad. I feel like some of you are going to listen to this and be like, oh my God. It's like horrible, but it's really not that bad, as bad as it sounds. But they woke us all up in the middle of the night, took us out into the middle of the woods, okay? And it's pitch black. And they said, okay, everyone is going to get blindfolded. Now I'm majorly regretting telling this story. I feel like people are going to think this is like really traumatic, and it's not. I look back on it as a very like funny memory, but they were like, all right, we're going to blindfold everyone. You're sorted into your teams, your soccer teams. Everyone on the team gets to pick one person. So one person from each team gets a whistle. Okay. So one person on every team got a whistle. And they said, that person who has the whistle does not have to wear a blindfold. They're the only one that doesn't have to wear a blindfold. All right. But none of you can talk. And that person with the whistle has to lead you back to your cabins. And you can't talk. Like, the person with the whistle can't talk. Sorry. Everyone else could talk. The person with the whistle couldn't. And so we had 30 seconds to work out a system with that person before we had to start walking our way back to the cabins. And the system we came up with, I still remember to this day for my team was, because you only had 30 seconds, was we said, okay, and I still remember to this day, Jen was the one who had the whistle, and we said, all right, blow it once for yes, twice for no. I know, Miles is like, what the hell is going on? It was really intense, but I promise we did actually, like, develop some great communication skills and stuff, but they would say, okay, blow the whistle once for yes, twice for no. And then we all linked hands, and stop, this sounds so fun. Okay, good. I'm like, I feel like I'm telling a story that if you didn't live it, you're thinking like, okay, when is a documentary going to be made about like the trauma these kids have from this camp? Serena says, I'm on the edge of my seat. Also, it sounds kind of fun, not gonna lie. It honestly was kind of fun. Like, except I will tell you one part in the future that's not so fun. But anyways, so all the rest of us linked hands, but the person with the whistle, they couldn't talk and they couldn't like touch us, you know, because that would have been too easy. They could have just guided us by our hands, right? But all the rest of us held hands, we made a line, and the person with the whistle stood in front of us, and we would just shout things like, are we going the right direction? Like, are we going the right way? And they would blow the whistle once for yes, twice for no. And if we wanted to ask, like, do we turn left, you know, or do we need to stop? Do we turn right? Like, that kind of stuff, they would respond with the whistle. And it took us a while, but we eventually made our way back. Like, it happened. But I will say, the only not fun part was, there were a few people, and I'm not going to say if I was included in this or not, but there were a few people that, ran into trees along the way, because it was a very dense forest, and she could only warn us so much with that damn whistle. But yeah, so I've kind of translated that into my story, and like I'd kind of forgotten about that until I was writing this, and I was like, oh my god, I could totally use that story, or that like strategy somewhat in this scene. So I've adapted it, but it's pretty cool to be able to translate it into this. See, there's nothing wrong with write what you know. This is a great memory that totally deserved to be worked into a story. Thank you. Like, I feel like it's very out there. Now I'm sitting here like, crap, maybe I shouldn't have shared this story because it's very weird, but it really was just like a bonding thing. And it was like it was tense and serious. Like, I would never put my kid through a camp like that nowadays, but this also was like back in the day, you know, where things were much more lax. So I feel like coaches could get away with that kind of stuff. But let's see, maybe it's because I'm disabled and always been averse to sports, but this sounds like nightmare material. Middle of the night, not getting food until I've proved physical prowess, big no thanks. Yeah, again, it is not something that I would ever put a child through today, right? Like, I would never endorse this for kids today, personally. But since it's something that's already come to pass, like, I'm just happy that I could at least, like, look back on it and go, and I'm sure in the moment, I did not think it was very fun, right? Like, but now I can look back on it and go, okay, this is something super unique that probably a lot of people have probably not done, that I can then translate into this story. So at least I'm able to make use of it, you know? Thank you, Miles. Saoirse says, that's pretty cool. Except I forgot about the not feeding you part. Honestly, like, it was bad, but like we did conditioning multiple times a week and stuff. I mean, we were equipped, right, to run the hills and then go get breakfast. It wasn't like taking a Parks and Rec team up there, you know, and making that kind of demand of them. We were a D1 travel team, if anyone knows anything about like travel soccer. So we were pretty like hardcore. But still, it's not something I would encourage or like support today as like a fresh experience. I'm just glad I've been able to adapt it into something for my story. Sarita says, oh yeah, I meant the fun team building activity at night might have been fun, not the running hills before food every day, because FYI, I don't run. Girl, I don't run anymore. They couldn't get me to do that today. It would never happen. I have friends that run marathons and stuff, and I don't know how they do it. I have another friend who, her husband actually does the Iron Man races, and I'm like, no way in hell, not happening. Like, I have a lot of respect for it, but not a chance. So, all right. Well, anyways, now that you've heard my little story time, uh, I think I might be ready for another sprint. How are you guys feeling? Is everyone ready to spin the wheel? Let me know in the chat. Spam the chat with spin the wheel if you're ready, and we'll see what fate the wheel has in store for us. Oh, goodness. Nobody's ready for the wheel? Everybody's chilling? All right, here's Saoirse. Saoirse said, all right, here we go. Here we go. Yes, spin it. Spin the wheel. I'm good to spin. Oh, Beth says, I'm ready. Hopefully it's long enough I can cook dinner. We'll see. We'll see. Miles says, yes, I gotta get some food and let's crack back in. Miles says, 1 hour, baby. Why y'all coming in here with the 1 hour? What is this? Oh, Saoirse, you too? Oh my gosh. Alright, well, you got 10 seconds if you want to throw a prediction, if you want to put a prediction on record in the chat before we spin it. 10 seconds, and then we're spinning. Stu says, yes, I need the words. I haven't written yet today. Stu also with the 1 hour, baby. You guys. Alright, well, I guess 1 hour is is what we're hoping for. I actually have no idea what I'll work on right now, but we'll figure it out. Hey, sometimes that's the best place to be. You know, the world is your oyster. Margot says, what? All these people with 1 hour. You too, Miles. He's chanting it. Or she's chanting it. Hold on, wait a minute. They're chanting it over here. They're saying 1 hour. 1 hour, 1 hour. What is this? Ian says, bring on the hour. Guys. Well, I still have a chance, okay? Because we gotta spin the wheel. I don't just give in like that. The wheel is God. We gotta let it decide, so... Saoirse says, we're manifesting 1 hour. We'll see. Y'all be sitting out there. You're gonna have your fingers crossed and stuff, and I'm over here hoping, like, let's get a cute 25. You know? Like... But that's fine. That's why the wheel is the great equalizer, right? Alright, here we go. I feel like everyone's hoping for the 1 hour, but we'll see what happens. Let's see. Let's see what we got here. Hold on real quick. Miles, sorry about that. I was literally like, okay, I'm glad you're like, that's perceiving me correctly, because I was just talking so fast that I was like, what am I saying? Oh gosh. Alright. Miles also says, y'all, it's gonna give us like 25 minutes. We'll see. I'm kind of hoping for that, so we'll see. Alright. But everyone else wants the 1 hour, so we'll see who will win. Here we go. 30. Hey, I'll take it. I'll take it. And keep in mind, guys, if you're super bummed, right? If you're super bummed that you lost, not to rub it in, but that you lost on that spin, keep in mind we still got one more after this, probably. You still got a chance to win and get your 1 hour wish. Alright? Because usually I go till a cute little 9:30 at least. So I'm thinking, let's see. I'm thinking if we get through this one, we may still have a chance for the 1 hour. Let's see, Mouse. I feel like your pronouns are like biblically accurate, Angel. That if we knew the true words, we would like melt or something. Mark, where did you... That was so funny. Oh my gosh. Okay, Beth says, okay, I'll be back once I got dinner cooked. No worries, Beth. No worries. Happy to have you here for however long. Miles says, Margot, you're gonna make me cry. You see me. Oh my gosh. Ian says, it'll do, let's go. You know how I just read that in my head, Ian, was like how Mario from Mario Party would be like, let's go. Is that what you meant? That might have been what you meant. All right, Margo says they see you, Miles. Let's see. Who? All right, here we go. I think I set this up already, but let me triple check. Cool 30. All right, hold up, hold up. We're gonna start all together. Ignore the timer. All right, troops, are we ready? Team, are we ready? Pen to paper, fingers on the keyboard. Here we go. Best of luck, and I will see y'all in 30 minutes. was that sprint for everyone? For everyone that made it through. How did it go for you? I know for me, myself, and I got I only got, it's not much, but I got 186 words. I don't know if any of you ever get like hung up on finding a synonym, but that happened to me just now. Like, I don't think you're supposed to focus on that kind of stuff as you go, but I was really stuck on finding just the right synonym for this one's, word in this one sentence that I was working on. I got pretty hung up on that. That said, dinner's almost done. Just a few more minutes. Nice. That's not bad, making it in a half an hour, in almost a half hour. That's pretty, you move pretty quick, Beth. That's impressive. Let's see. Margot says, finalized an edit letter and got a bit into the next. Nice. Very cool. I think I told you about this, Margot, when you first started coming on my streams, but I definitely want to do, like, beta reading eventually. Not right now, but, like, eventually I want to do some. I'm about to go into some summer classes that are going to be pretty dense, so I wouldn't be able to do any over the summer necessarily, but that's something I definitely want to do at some point. Let's see. I mean, and I know an edit letter is different than beta reading, by the way, too. I don't mean to insult. Like, an edit letter is probably much more involved. So, let's see. Ian said, not much word-wise, but I've made some food. Hey, a win's a win. You know, Ian, a win's a win. Just gotta take it. Miles says, only got like 120 words, but got tea and dinner started. Oh, I keep saying every time I hear someone say that they're drinking tea, I'm like, I need to try and drink tea. Especially on these streams. Like, when I'm doing them later at night, I feel like that'd be such a vibe. Because I don't really drink coffee so much anymore unless I'm, like, meeting up with someone for coffee. And I actually have some tea in my cabinet specifically to drink at night. Like, to calm myself down before bedtime. I really should try that. Let's see. Ash says, I got 206, and I'm really happy with the new direction of this story. Hey, sweet deal, sweet deal. That's awesome to hear, Ash. It's awesome to hear. And, I feel like, even if you only get, because I get really, like, self-conscious about writing slow, but I need to remember, like, even if you only get 10 words, it's 10 more words than you had before, Like, it's all progress, so. Let's see, Saoirse says, I started rereading the scene I was on and realized I needed to break it into 2 scenes, and now my Scrivener word count is off. Saoirse, I can relate. I have a very detailed outline. I've shown it on this stream before, like a blurred out version, and I think it was chapter 6 when I was doing... Yeah, I think it was when I was writing chapter 6, and I quickly realized, like, my word count was pretty much double, and I was going to have to split that chapter into 2 different chapters. I still haven't officially done it yet, like gone in and split them, but I know that's going to have to happen. I'm going to have to go back and alter that, because I kind of ran into the same thing. I knew to fix it, I needed to just keep the word count higher, but split it into 2 chapters. Let's see, Stu says, went through some alpha reader feedback and started making notes on things I want to add. Nice. Very nice. Let me ask you guys something too, because I feel like quite a few of you in here are probably even more experienced than me on this stuff, right? I am kind of curious. So the alpha reader, beta reader thing, right? Like, I kind of understand the difference, but I've also seen some people that are like, I'm sending just my first chapter to an alpha reader to, like, get their opinion. Do you guys do that? Do you do it, like, earlier in the process? Like, because I've actually thought about getting halfway in my book and then going back and revising the first half and then sending, like, the first chapter to someone just to, like, get some feedback, because I feel like originally I was like, I'm going to write the whole thing and then do a second draft and then get feedback. And part of me is like, I don't know, I might want some feedback sooner, because if something's really off or if a character's really unlikable, like, from the get-go, or the story doesn't make sense from the get-go, like, maybe I want to know that sooner rather than later. I don't know, but Just let me know what your thoughts are on that. Like, I'm kind of curious. Do you always wait till you're completely done with a draft to get an alpha reader and share just like a first chapter, or do you do it kind of in between? Margot says you can always start with beta reading short pieces for people. Yeah, I could. I feel like I don't read as much, as many short stories. I'd probably still be fine with it. I'm sure, like, if someone just wanted an alpha reader, like someone just to give general feedback, like, I could probably do that. But yeah, I definitely want to do that at some point. Miles says, this is my fourth cup of tea today. Oh my gosh. See, and I have tea without caffeine in it. Um, so mine would not help me with like energy or anything, but I just feel like it would be nice, a nice way to wind down. So, Miles, do you have a favorite type of tea? Actually, I should get your expertise on this because I kind of just went to the store and bought blind when I got my tea back in the day. Uh, I just bought like what had a cool label, and maybe that's not the way to go. Let's see. Saoirse says, "Ash, yay, that's so exciting! Yeah, yay for breakthroughs. I'm telling you, those are something special." Miles says, "At this point, I think I just need to be holding something warm." You know, okay, I'm so glad you said that because I think that way sometimes. Like sometimes I don't drink coffee anymore, genuinely, but I'll like make coffee and just have it here so I can like put my hand on the mug sometimes. You know what I mean? Like normally my go-to drink, like what I have in here right now, is chocolate milk. Okay? Like I love chocolate milk. But sometimes and like right now it's hotter outside, but like in the winter and stuff, when I sit here and write, I like to just have a warm cup here. It doesn't even matter what's in it. That's so cool that you said that, Miles, because I've always wondered if I'm the only one that does that. Saoirse says, yes, it's so weird. It's telling me I wrote 4,000 words today, but I didn't. Maybe you did. And it just flew by, Saoirse. The power of the wheel, the power of sprints, you never know. Oh, this fic chapter is over 3,000 words, and I haven't added atmosphere yet. Well, I feel like that's fair. I could be, like, wrong. I could be wrong, but when I did my outline, I outlined all my chapters at being between 3 and 4. Well, I guess it depends what you're writing, too. Like, mine's a fantasy, and fantasy's notorious for having higher word counts, but my chapters are all meant to err on the side of 3,000, but I'm prepared for them to be between 3 and 4,000 if they have to be. Margot says, it varied from project to project, RE, beta, alpha, and amount of feedback. Okay, that makes sense if it, like, depends, on the type of story you're writing. Ash says, I sent my first chapter out recently, but after I finished the whole draft before I start revision. See, I feel like that's the most normal thing to do, is people finish their first draft and then start sending out, like, little bits and pieces. Let's see. Stu said, I'm so glad you guys are giving me, like, your input on this, by the way. It's so nice to pick the brains of, like, other writers. Stu says, I sent the whole 0 draft to them, LOL. I don't know if that... Oh, wait. I pulled it away. Okay. I sent the whole 0 draft to them, LOL. I don't know if that's technically an alpha reader, but that's what I'm calling it. I think that is, right? I feel like that is. Yeah, I read... See, and part of this, too, is my little brother actually wrote a whole book, but he's an overachiever. He's just incredible. He's the one in one of my vlogs I said he's going to Oxford next year. But he wrote a whole book and he did 2 drafts and then just like out of nowhere was like, "Hey, can you read this book for me that I wrote?" And so I kind of wonder, I'm like, should I wait? Do you wait until you do 2 drafts? I don't know. Like, let's see. Miles says, I've sent early chapters to people before. It was to help make sure I wasn't doing something utterly confusing and also to give me a motivation. See, I feel like I almost need more like the motivation boost, right? Like I need someone to read it and just tell me like, yeah, this isn't total crap. Like I don't even need them to say it's good. I just need them to say like, it's not total crap. You can continue. Saoirse says, I personally like to wait until I feel I have a set vision for my story before getting input, but sometimes I make exceptions. That's true. I feel like if you do it too early, that's true. If you don't know where your story's going and you're like too open to feedback, maybe you would make too many changes. Like you'd almost be too open to being influenced. Blood. I gave chunks of 2 chapters every 2 weeks to an alpha reader as I wrote. Ooh. That's nice. See, I would maybe do that like as I'm revising, send like 2 chapters at a time to someone as I'm revising. Let's see, Ian says, my novels are shorter, so I just send the whole thing once I finish writing it. I don't reread it or anything, off it goes. Man, that takes some balls. Kudos to you, Ian, because I think I would need to at least reread my work. But honestly, you're Ian, or I cannot talk tonight. Honestly, Ian, your work is probably pretty solid. I would imagine. Like, you probably don't need the reread, but I know I'm gonna need a reread. Let's see. Margot says, but it was mostly just for cheerleading and a vibe read. Hey, that's what I'm talking about, though. Masha! Masha! Yes. Oh my gosh. Welcome back. Welcome back. It's been a minute. I had to double check my sheet. I'm like, I remember that you were the one of the ones that I wanted to make sure I was pronouncing it right. Let's see. Miles says, my favorite type of tea is chai. Teavana has the best spicy blend. Also, Kenyan black tea. Wow. I'm exclusively a black tea drinker and the occasional mint. Now, question, is green tea good for you? I heard that that's good for you. I'm not certain, but I do have a question about that. And Teavana, it's funny, when I lived in Cali, I only lived in California for like 6 months, right, out of high school. But they had a Teavana over there at our mall, and I remember going there quite a bit. So I guess I must have had a phase in college, because that just brought back memories. Miles says, basically, I am not the person to give tea recommendations. Okay, so you just like a bit of everything. That's fair. That's fair. Like, look, like I said, I just go to the store and buy the tea that I think has the prettiest labels. Or like the most aesthetically pleasing ones that are like sleepy bedtime tea or deep relaxation tea. And then I don't drink them. They just sit in my cupboard, but they're there if I need them. Saoirse says, I went from around 1,000 to 4,000 this last sprint. Jeez. Okay, so you made mad progress. You came to win tonight. Let's see. Masha says, I love chai too, but green is my favorite normal kind of tea. I cannot get into chai tea. My brother Liam is really into it. I just can't get into it. And I think Brielle drinks chai lattes, if I remember. And she always makes them look so aesthetically pleasing. And I'm like, maybe I do like chai. She makes it look really good. But then every time I try it, I'm like, no, it's not for me. Masha says, something very coincidental happened after last sprint night. Oh, what happened? I'm curious. Okay. Tell me about this, Masha. I want to know. Okay, Beth says, for beta readers, I send what I feel is almost ready for publishing. For alpha readers or critique partners, I send the rough draft. See, I wish I had like an in-person writing group. I tried to go to an in-person writing group at my local library, and that was like a train wreck. It was just a total train wreck. I don't know. It was a total train wreck. I never went back. But yeah, I feel like that's what I need, is almost someone to just like bounce ideas off of, Taylor's here. Oh my god, I am freaking the freak out. Oh my god. Okay, Taylor, I saw that you were live earlier, and I like hit the notify me button on YouTube. I was like, oh, can't wait to watch this. And then I like took a minute. I was like doing, admin stuff on my computer, and I went, I have a live stream tonight. I can't watch Taylor's stream. So like I was super bummed. But I hope you had a very nice stream. Let's see. Miles, big whoop for our little brothers that we're proud of. Yes. Whoop whoop. I'm definitely super proud of him. He's graduating next week, and I'm like, I feel like I'm just gonna totally bawl my eyes out. But yeah, Taylor! Everyone's freaking out that Taylor's here. Yeah, I'm super excited to have her here. Saoirse, Taylor saying hello to Saoirse. Let's see. Oh my god, yeah, everybody in this chat is like piling onto this 1 hour. They all want the 1 hour on the wheel for some reason. Normally, y'all don't bring this kind of energy, but people want to be productive tonight, I guess. I mean, I'm all about it. Saoirse says, no, Scrivener's lying about my word count. Are you sure about that, though? Is it really? Maybe you just take the win, right? Right, Saoirse? You don't have to tell us. Just take the win. I believe. I'm just going to choose to believe that you got 3K in. you know? But that's weird. I've never, I have dabbled in Scrivener like once, and then I was like, you know what? I am way too type A for this. I was like, if I, and I'm also really, I feel like I'm really into aesthetics and art and stuff, and I was like, if I use this, I will never actually write because I'm gonna get stuck making like vision boards and all sorts of character profiles and crazy stuff. Let's see. Let's see. Miles says, "Oh, that's matcha." Okay, that's what it is. I was like, but whatever she makes looks so aesthetic. That's what it is, matcha. I need to try that. Okay. Taylor's like, yeah, the 1 hour sprint vibes. Yeah, that has been a thing tonight for some reason. Everyone wants the 1 hour sprint. So different beasts. Oh, really? Oh my gosh. Now I'm like really hesitant to try it. Okay, Taylor says, I'm not currently writing, so I can't bring that energy. Okay. Hey, I'm glad someone's on my side, Taylor, because honestly, I'm not trying to I haven't been trying to do a 1 hour sprint tonight. I love matcha and chai. A spicy chai is my fave. Oh my god, spicy chai. I've never even heard of that. What the heck? Spicy chai. Miles says, same thing, spicy chai. I'm gonna have to take notes after this stream. I'm gonna have to try some new things. Masha says, I was writing the book about my ex-girlfriend, then she got back into contact with me literally the next day. Manifestation. Manifestation, I'm telling you. I think it's real. I think there's something to it. Taylor says, yes, OMG, it was so last minute, we would have done it different. No. I'm glad, like, I'm glad you guys were doing it. And definitely if I didn't already have this, like, on the docket, I would have been there, you know? So, I'm sure it was a great time. It was all chat and no productivity. I put stickers on my journal. Look, that's a vibe. You know? That's a vibe. Yeah. I'm not sure. Sorry, I'm going way. I feel like I'm dragging in the chat. I'm not sure what this was in relation to, Taylor. Sorry. I'm moving way too slow. Let's see. Ash says 1 hour just feels right. 1 hour, 1 hour. Taylor, I thought you weren't gonna jump on this train. Oh no. Taylor is rallying the troops. Well, in this stream, we say the wheel is God. It's the great equalizer. So, you know, we all want what we want, but the wheel decides. You know, it's the great decider. Mouse. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Sersha says, okay, I wrote 3K in 30 minutes, sure. Look, take the win. Take the win, you know? Miles says, I mean, that sounds like something Beth would accomplish. It does sound like something Beth would accomplish in 30 minutes. Beth comes in here in 20 minutes and is like, I wrote 6,000 words. Sersha says, so true, Miles. Let's see. You can do so much in 1 hour, like eat and get a fun drink and then do it. You can fit so much in an hour. That's true. So true, Ash. I'm with you. I mean, the 1 hour does hit different sometimes, you know, but I need to be forced into it. I'm never gonna like freely choose to do an hour. Let's see. The magic wheel. All hail the magic wheel. You know, I tried to what is the magic wheel? I'm like, where is that from? Is that from something? I tried to change the layout the other day for my wheel. I was just like fiddling around with it, and I was trying all kinds of stuff to make it look like how do I put this? Like more powerful, you know? I was trying to put like wings on it or like have it look like it was inside of a crystal ball, but none of it was working. So it stays as it is for now, but it is still all powerful. That says, haha, no, that's even too much for me. I don't know, Beth. Never say never. Magic Contra. Oh my god. You know, back in middle school, I used to be the president of the SpongeBob fan club. Not kidding, just saying. Like, y'all are learning some crazy stuff about me tonight on this stream. But anyways, I used to be the president of the SpongeBob fan club, and I legit had, like, cards, like membership cards, that I would, like, hand out to people. I used to love SpongeBob. Masha, let's see. More powerful. I was trying to make it look more powerful, you know? I wanted the background to, like, reflect its power, but I couldn't do it justice, so It's gonna stay with like the woodsy kind of theme, but oh my gosh. I'm glad you think it's incredible because I feel like I have found my people. If you think that that's incredible, then I have found, someone that would have been in my crew back in the day because not everyone shares that feeling. It was quite dorky, but I had quite a few members. I even had a teacher in the club, So it must have been doing pretty well. I would have been a part of that club. You know what, Taylor? Maybe I'll revive it. I'll revive it. We'll just start a new one. Lore drop, yeah. I'm dropping a lot of lore today. I don't know what the deal is, but Evelyn, I'm so glad that you all think it's iconic, honestly. I had a whole SpongeBob themed birthday party. I love Sponge. I'm telling you, because back in the day, back when SpongeBob was at its peak, okay, if we have any like super young youngins in here, you're not gonna understand. When SpongeBob was at its peak, you could only watch it when it like happened to come on TV normally, but I had the whole box set on DVD, and that was like whenever we had downtime in the house, SpongeBob was always on in the background. Yeah, SpongeBob is fire. I cannot remember any of my birthdays. Yeah, I don't remember many of my birthdays. I do remember one birthday. Well, actually, I remember a few. I remember a few, but you know what? I've dropped enough lore for the night. Because I have some crazy birthday stories too. But yeah, you'll be there. Okay, we're gonna have a SpongeBob fan club, and we will have monthly meetings. We're gonna make it happen. Not the teacher. I've no joke. We had a teacher, and I will say she was the coolest. She ended up winning Teacher of the Year. I don't think it was the year I had her, but she did win it a few years in a row. But she used to, she was a math teacher, and she used to rap all of our lessons. She would make up her own raps. She was great. But yeah, she had a huge love for SpongeBob too, so she was in it with us. Peak SpongeBob was everything to me. Yes, you know what? I recently went back and watched just as like a comfort show. I bet no one's gonna know this show, but and I just put it on in the background, right, like while I'm cleaning and stuff, because I like to always have something in the background. I have put on Jimmy Neutron in the background, which that show holds up so well. And Rocket Power is the other one that I like. I guess Paramount. I have Paramount to watch Survivor, and pretty much just to watch Survivor. And I was looking through the other stuff they had, and I was like, oh my god, they got this whole catalog of old like Nickelodeon shows. So yeah, I put on in the background Rocket Power and Jimmy Neutron, and they were so good. Miles says, I might be the youngest, but even I was around before streaming. It feels like it's been around forever, though, doesn't it? Like, it feels like it's been around forever. It's wild, but we'll see. DVDs are making a comeback because the streaming keeps kind of, like, going in and out. They keep switching up what shows are where, and there are people that are trying to build up a DVD collection again. I actually sold. I had a solid DVD collection before I moved here. Okay, years ago before I moved here, and I got rid of a lot of stuff before I moved just because I didn't want my new place to be like cluttered. And regretfully, my DVD collection was one of the things that went, and that's probably the only thing I got rid of that I actually regret. So I love thrifting, and the DVDs are aplenty at the thrift stores now, and I may start rebuilding my collection. I think the only thing I still have on DVD is I have the Harry Potter movies, I have Lord of the Rings, and I have the entire series of Charmed, if anyone remembers Charmed, okay, with the Power of Three, the witches. That show was like my religion. So, yeah, if anyone used to watch that, I do have every episode of that in their box sets. But yeah, I need to rebuild it. Let's see. Margot says I make way too many SpongeBob references. Yeah, I don't know if I don't know if I remember as many of the references. Like I definitely remember like chocolate, the chocolate thing. But I feel like what I remember nowadays is kind of few and far between. I need a refresh for sure. Masha says, no wheel goddess, give us your mythology. Oh my god, I gotta tell you guys, this, the way I highlight the chat is I pop it out into a separate window, and sometimes it takes a while to buffer, and I'm on Masha's comment about mythology, and then all of a sudden the whole thing buffered, and it literally popped up like a whole new page. Okay, so I'm gonna work my way through this real quick. At the end of this, if I catch up to you guys, I'll tell you an interesting birthday story. I'm sure I've got one in mind, but it wasn't even my birthday. But I'll tell you a story. I feel like I could just sit here and have like campfire story time and tell you guys all kinds of wild, just funny stories, life stories. But anyways, Miles says my parents didn't allow me to watch SpongeBob, so I never got into it. You know what? That is a damn shame, Miles. If it wasn't copyrighted, I would literally have a movie night on here and we would watch it to rectify that, because that's a shame you missed out. Um but you know, it's on Paramount if you want to go watch it. It's there. Miles says I've been watching old Disney Channel shows. You know, the Disney Channel shows hit different. You know what show I've been wanting to rewatch? So I rewatched when I got Disney years ago, when I got Disney Plus and they had all the old shows on there. I watched Xenon. That was like one of the first things I watched, because Xenon is, oh my god, the best thing ever. But I want to rewatch Pixel Perfect. Y'all know that one? That was an old, like, one-off Disney movie. And, you know, I also want to go back and watch Even Stevens, but, it's kind of a little weird watching it now. Shia LaBeouf's kind of gone off the deep end a little bit. He's having some trouble, so it's kind of weird rewatching it, but I used to love Even Stevens, so I'd like to rewatch that one, too. But Rocket Power. Okay, I'm so glad y'all speak my language. That was just, I used to, at work one time, I said to someone, like, you know, they used to do the handshake where they would go like, wiggity, 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 and it just went, it went right over their head. Anyways, Jimmy Neutron, that show, I'm telling you, it still holds up. It still holds up. Rocket Power, I'm telling, it's the best. Jimmy, I always say, hi, Jimmy's mom. Oh my god. And Carl was the best. Carl and his llamas, you know? Yeah, Rocket Power, literal. Yeah, these are the shows that the younger generation, they're missing out on. You know? I really feel like the caliber dropped once these shows passed. Reggie was a queen. You know it. You know it. Rumi and I have hit Wizards of Waverly Place. Lizzie, oh my god, and Lizzie McGuire is like, oh my god, that was another one that was like a religion for me. I used to think her style, I still think her style was so like the epitome of like limited to, right? It was like what every young girl wanted to look like back in the day. Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, another great one. Another great one. I still call my gear shift the Prindle, after London Tipton. Dude, I have two of those old DVD cases. I love having them. See, that's what I'm talking about. I had two. I had thick ones, man, because I used to go on Black Friday, and towards the end when streaming was first picking up, stores would have Black Friday sales where they would sell DVDs, like popular ones, for like $2 a piece. And I would wait all year, and I would leave with literal, like, piles of DVDs. I had a solid collection. It is genuinely one of my biggest regrets. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to get a new collection. I took them actually to an auction house, so they're gone. They're long gone. Whoever got them, they won out, man. They won out. Yes, we're building our DVD collection. It's praxis to separate from the shackles of streaming. Exactly. Like I'm subscribed right now to like 3 or 4 different streaming services, because and I don't even watch TV that much, right? But like I love Law and Order SVU, right? And that's on Peacock. So I'm stuck on Peacock. I can't get rid of that, you know? And then Paramount has Survivor. Can't get rid of that till Survivor's done. Now, it did just have the finale. I haven't seen it yet, so nobody tell me, but you know, it's just one of those things where you get stuck on different streaming platforms. I will say, I'll throw this out here. I did binge the other night Sirens on Netflix. It's a new one. Bawled my eyes out. Bawled my eyes out. I'm not gonna like give too much away, but that show was it was so different than what I thought it was gonna be. But it was great. Charmed! Okay, Taylor, I cannot wait for in the future, if we do stream together. I feel like we're not going to shut up. I feel like there's a lot of overlap in the stuff that we like. Yeah, Charmed is the best. I'm telling you, I used to, for the longest time, be like, if I have a kid, I'm going to name them Piper. Piper was my favorite sister. Now that I'm older, I kind of like all of them, but Piper was my favorite for sure. I love that so many people like Charmed. Where's Ash? I know. Here we go. Charmed. Yay. Oh, I'm so glad so many people get that show because I feel like it's not niche, right? It went for 8 seasons. It had to have been really popular, but I feel like when I bring it up, it's really hit or miss if people know what I'm talking about. Um, Ian says, even I watch Charmed. By the way, I'm glad you're here, Ash. Um, let's see. Saoirse knows Charmed? Everybody knows Charmed. I'm telling you, this chat tonight was fire. We got the best people in here. Let's see. Yeah, I need to rewatch it too. Whenever people say like they like Bad Boys, I always picture Cole like in my head. In my opinion, you could literally in the dictionary, if bad boy was defined in the dictionary, Cole's like right there. You know what I mean? He was just the perfect example um, of being drawn to the bad guy, you know? Let's see, Ash says, I'm gonna watch Charmed now if I can find it. Charmed box set, yeah. Is it streaming somewhere? Yeah, I think Peacock has it. Yeah, Taylor's on it. I think on Peacock. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Peacock has it. I think I've seen it somewhere else too, but I can't remember. Evelyn, you've got to hop on the Discord calls sometimes. We spill big lore over there. I'm we talked about this. I gotta take baby steps. I gotta actually type in the Discord first. And then but I will work my way up to the chat channels. I need to. Love Xenon and love Pixel Perfect. This is why, okay, Taylor, this is why too, I feel like Natalie would appreciate this kind of stuff. Like, I need to put myself out there and comment on Natalie's stuff, like her videos that I watch, just so that I can get a convo going so that we can gush about Disney, if nothing else. If nothing else, right? I at least need to know her thoughts on Xenon, Pixel Perfect. What was the one where the guy goes, Back to the Future? You know what I'm talking about? Not Phil from the Future. That was another one. But wasn't there another one that was like a one-off? I mean, there's just so many that, like, I really want to hear her thoughts on. Let's see. Ash says, I still sing Dude, I used to have the Pixel Perfect soundtrack on CD. And that stuff was fire. Like, that thing got played on repeat. Yeah. Pixel Perfect was fire. Is Pixel Perfect the one where they had the hologram singer? Yes. It's where it's like a teen guy, like, you know, programmed it or something. Oh, Taylor says, I have to hop off and grab some dinner with my fam, but this was such a fun time. Have a good night, and I'll rewatch to see what the magic wheel grants you. Thanks, Taylor. Bye, Taylor. Good seeing you. She probably left a while ago because I'm going through this real slow. But let's see. But yeah, that's the one where the teen kind of like programs her. And I think in the end, does he give her free reign? I can't remember how it ends. I need to rewatch it. But yeah, it's hologram singer. All right, everyone's saying bye, Taylor. Ash is confirming. Let's see. OMG, I had that recorded on VHS tape. Yeah. Yeah, those were the days. I used to have the VHS tapes. Piper was my fave too. Nice, Margo! Yeah, I think I'm just an oldest sister fan, you know, no matter what. And I know Prue was technically the oldest, and she did grow on me with time, but, you know, she bit the dust, and Piper kind of naturally slotted right into that role, so... Ash says, I got a photo and autograph from Holly Marie Combs last year. Girl. I'm dying over here. I'm absolutely dying. Like, does she do fan... Like, I guess I've never looked at it, but does she do, like, fan expos and stuff? Because I would absolutely lose my damn mind if I ever got to meet Holly Marie Combs. I'd probably have her literally do something that I could get tattooed on me or something. I'd be that, like, freaking hype. Let's see. Saoirse says, oh, Ash, that's so cool. Yeah, everyone's saying how jealous they are. I was shocked she came to New Zealand. Wow. Yeah. Was she there for some sort of fan con thing? I feel like they travel kind of all over for that stuff. It's pretty wild. 13th year. Okay, I was trying to think of that one, Margo. That's the one that's like the mermaid type one, right? The guy like turns into a mermaid at 13. Let's see. Miles says, we all know Margo loves an older sister. Yeah, she goes to conventions. Okay. See, I need to go to a convention. You know who I've been trying to go to a convention to see is Lana Parrilla from Once Upon a Time. She played the evil queen in Once Upon a Time. I went and met her and got a picture with her and the guy who played Robin Hood, Sean McGuire. But it was years ago, and I've always wanted to go again. But every time I look up her conventions, they're always like overseas, like over in Europe or something. Margot says, "God damn it, Miles, you and Stu always coming for my throat." Yes, Mermaid Guy. Okay, I'm glad I'm on track. I'm glad I'm on track with that. All right, well, we have really been chatting here for a minute. 13th year was so good too. Yeah. Yeah, it's a classic. All right. How do you guys feel about doing a sprint still? I mean, I technically try to go till 9. I usually try to go till 9:30. It's not technically 9:30. Um, I feel like we could try and fit another one in, like, but what are you guys thinking? Just let me know in the chat if you want another sprint or if you think you're done for the night. Um, for reference, Ev, I have a lot of older sisters in my stories. Nice, nice. Yeah, I just feel like I'm a big believer in like birth order behavior, like all the videos you see where they're like oldest sisters are like this and middle sisters turn out like this and younger sisters turn out to have or end up having these qualities. I believe that it doesn't always happen, but like I do believe that that happens a lot. And so I just really I love a good strong female lead, and I feel like that typically, not always, but typically ends up being the older sisters. Um I have to run in a few, but up to you. Okay. What's everyone else thinking? Y'all let me know, you know? We definitely ended up chatting more than normal tonight, but I don't mind it. Like, I feel like, this was actually a lot of fun to get to know everyone a little better. Um, but I'm down to do another sprint, but, it's whatever you guys are feeling. Ian says, Spanner, he says out in the garage. All right, well, I think that's a vote for a sprint then from Ian. Rest of y'all think about it for a second. Let me know what you think if you want to throw one out there. But just know we're tempting fate, because the wheel is God. All right, Sersha says I'm down for another sprint, but I might need to use it to make dinner. No problems. Spin it. All right, how about this? I'm gonna go for it because I think I need another sprint. Like I really do. I think I need that third sprint. It's one of those things where it sucks to commit to it. You're like, I don't want to do it, but once you do it, you feel great. It's like going to the gym. Before you go to the gym, you're like, do I really want to go to the gym today? I'm sore, I'm tired, I'm whatever. And then once you go, you're like, thank God I did it. I feel great. I think that's the vibe we're going for. So I think we're gonna go for it. Let's see what happens. I swear I'm gonna spin this. This is my prediction. Okay, I think I'm gonna spin this. Get an hour, and then the viewer count is gonna drop to like it's gonna be like 2 of you that stick with me for the hour, but that's all right, like it's all about getting the work done. But I just have a feeling that this is the time we're gonna get hit with that freaking hour. I could just feel it in my bones. But you guys go ahead and put your guesses in the chat. I'm gonna get the wheel pulled up, but you got about 10 seconds. Doesn't matter if you're gonna stick around or not. You can still guess, how long you think it'll be. But go ahead and throw those guesses in the chat, and we'll get the wheel. We'll get it going. Yeah, that's what I'm worried about, Sersha. I'm worried it's going to be an hour. 25. Okay, 25. 25. I can get with the 25. Beth. Oh, Beth coming in niche. Niche with the 55. Chances for the 55 are just as good as the hour, so, um could happen. Totally could happen. All right, but let's see what we get here. Here we go. You are okay. I was just about to be like, you are freaking kidding me. It's like way too close for comfort. My heart just dropped into my stomach because I thought, oh my god, here comes the hour. Oh, jeez Louise. Alright, hold on, ignore that timer. I'm gonna get us set up with a fresh 25er. 25. Yeah, definitely way too close for comfort. Margot says, called it. Yeah. Now, there were a few of you that got it right. Yeah, Margot, shout out to Margot, Ian, and Ash for guessing it right. That was way too close. Yeah. Yeah, my heart was beating way too fast. All right. Is everyone ready to go? We can do this. 25 is cute. You know, that's not keeping us here too much longer, you know? Let's finish strong. I think we can make it happen. I believe in us. What was the chant I said last time? Someone put something in the chat and it was we can, we will, we must. Margot's about to head out, but that's okay. No problem. Thank you, Margot, for being here. Appreciate you. All right, guys. Pens at the ready, keyboards at the ready. Here we go. I believe in you, and I will see you on the other side of 25 minutes. For those of you that endured that last sprint with me, first of all, congratulations, and I'm proud of you for sticking it out. Even if you weren't writing, even if you were being productive in some other way. But if you feel like sharing, let me know how it went for you in the chat. I only got like 134 words in because I started to write in one direction, kind of like I had one thing happening, and then I started thinking to myself, this chapter's really getting long. Like, maybe I need to change this, like change the person that this is happening to, and then change the event a little bit. And I looked at my outline to see what was coming next, and then went back and like saw how many words were in my chapter, and this chapter is pushing 5,500 words already. So I was like, okay, we gotta course correct and change this a little bit. So I went back and rewrote some stuff, but I'm much happier with where it's at now anyways, to be totally honest. I think it's going to be more satisfying for the reader. I don't know if you guys ever have this happen, but I feel like I'm reaching a point in my story where things are getting much, like the plot is getting a lot meatier, and like the setting is really I don't want to say dense, but like it's really intriguing and involved, and there's like so much stuff you could write about that I find myself taking a lot longer to get through things than I need to. So I need to work on that a little bit. But I do feel like I'm doing a good job of catching it as it happens. So, yeah. Let's see. Masha beat their Subway Surfers high score, broke to 2,048,955. Nice. I don't know what Subway Surfers is, but I'll have to look that up. Let's see. Saoirse says, I ate dinner and then tried to read through my scene but kept getting distracted. Relatable. Relatable. I have not reread any of my stuff because I know if I do, I'll get... Like, I haven't reread any of it yet because I'm not done with my first draft yet. And I know if I go back and reread it, I'm going to be like, the whole thing is trash. I need to scrap it, But I get distracted all the time when I'm reading actual books. So, totally relatable. 525 words. Beth, really solid for 25 minutes. Like, very respectable. Ian got 121 words. Not the best, not the worst, getting sleepy. Yeah, I feel like that's kind of where I'm living. I'm not crazy tired yet, thank God. I'm kind of surprised, but I definitely... That wasn't my best sprint. But I do feel like it helped me gain some clarity and some direction, so... Masha, that's iconic. I'm a surfer to my core. I'm gonna have to look this up. I don't know what Subway Surfers is, but I gotta look this up. Stu got snacks and also got distracted. Hey, it happens, It happens. Oh yes, don't reread. Haha, I'm on draft 5. You know what? I remember seeing that. I think you wrote that in the Discord somewhere. Sorry, I totally spaced for a minute, but you're right. You're on draft 5. I remember seeing that before. Man, draft 5. That's admirable. But that's how, traditionally published authors, I think that's how they do it. Brandon Sanderson, he was saying he sometimes does 12 drafts. So, you're in the thick of it, Saoirse, but it sounds like you're doing it right, So, sounds like you're doing it right. All right, well, guys, I feel like this was a really productive stream, a really nice, fun stream. It was really nice getting to know everyone a little better and kind of talking a bit more. I promise, excuse me, for the next stream. Well, actually, sorry, I was just about to say, I promise for the next stream I'm gonna try and lock in and not talk as much, and then I'm like, nope, I'm not going to, because my next stream is my first ever group stream. So, yeah, 12 is wild. 12 is wild. But his books are also like, Lord knows how many words. I think they're like 400,000 words or something. I would die if I had to do 12 revisions. Yeah, 12 is dense. Yes, thank you for the sprints. I had so much fun. No problem. No problem. Masha says, what about our mythology? Oh, my birthday mythology from earlier. Oh, Ash and CKN or yeah%. Yeah, that's what I'm like. I think this is our next stream. Now, I'm going to rein us in a little. Because I do feel like my streams are somewhat of writing boot camp, and I don't want to lose that, right? But but maybe we'll set like timers when we yap. We'll do like a 10-minute, 15-minute yap to be careful. I don't know. We'll see. We'll feel it out. But yeah, for my next stream, just so everyone knows, it's actually already up on YouTube, so you can go and hit the notification bell for it. I do need to update the thumbnail, okay? Right now it's just me and CK on the thumbnail, but I'm going to actually have myself, CK, Ash, and Sersha. So it should be a fun stream. It's my first ever group stream. I can actually give you guys a quick sneak peek, I think, let's see, of the format for the guest stream. I need to like update names and stuff, but this will be our format, kind of. So you can see the chat coming up on the right hand side there. So everyone will be able to see the chat, and then I'll have all the guests on here. We'll still have alerts. We'll still have the chat. Let's see. We'll still have the chat kind of like popping up. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, there it is. We'll still have the chat pop up. So it'll be really similar to how it is with just me. We just won't have the... oh, God, this darn alert sound. We just won't have the vision board. And the timer will be up in the right-hand corner. Let's see if I can, yeah, pop it up there. Which actually, let me move that sucker a little bit in. But yeah, so it'll be a really, really similar setup to what we kind of already rock with. But I'm going to have some buddies in here. So should be a fun time. Hopefully there won't be any technical issues. I did run a tech check, like a little tech rehearsal last night with my brother. So hopefully all will go well. Oh God, we need it. Well, look, I need it too, clearly, because I chatted y'all's ears off tonight. But yeah, I think that's a good idea, because I do feel like I have a good amount of people that come here to get like a lot of work done, and I kind of want to keep that signature, I guess. And so I want to chat. I want to have friends on. I want to chat, but I also want to keep it within some boundaries. So I think even if we set 20-minute timers, you know, but just to have something to hold us accountable, you know what I mean? So we'll figure it out. We'll try some things out. Keep us in line. Well, we'll see. We'll keep each other in line. You know, we'll talk about it and figure out what time frame feels good, you know, for chatting and stuff. But thank you. Yeah, I'm going to have all your names up there too. It won't say like guest 1, guest 2, guest 3. It'll have y'all's names. So I'll probably update that either tonight or tomorrow. But yeah, so should be pretty nice. Is that using OBS? Yes, I use OBS. That bringing guests in, I have to use a different extension. I can't remember what it's called right now. But yeah, this is all through OBS. So I was going to use StreamYard when I brought guests on, but it was going to charge me like $40 a month just to be able to have a second camera. Not a second guest, but a second camera in the layout. And basically that's the only way I could get the spin wheel in if I was going to do all that. And I was just like, look, I haven't even done a single guest stream yet. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to commit to $40 a month when I don't even know what I'm doing yet. You know what I mean? But I still want the wheel. I like my layout. Like, I wanted to keep all this stuff. So I just kind of fiddle-faddled with some different programs, and we're going to try this one out. See if hopefully it works. So like I said, I did troubleshoot it with my brother last night. He said it was super easy. It was like a dream. So hopefully that'll stay true for everyone. All the wonderful guests that I'm going to have with me on stream on Thursday, right? Today's Tuesday. That's Thursday. I swear the days are just, yeah, okay, Thursday. But yeah, be sure to go over and hit that alert button or the notification button on that stream. Like I said, I'm going to update the thumbnail. I'll probably do that tonight because I don't want it to sit without, you know, I want it to have all my guests on there for as long as possible. So I'm going to probably update that tonight, but be sure to go hit that notification bell so that you can chime in for that one. It should be a fun time. Beth says, I downloaded it again. I just need to mess with it again. Yeah, OBS has a pretty steep, it's not impossible or anything by any means, but it has a pretty steep learning curve. And like I said, a lot of the stuff that I have on here, I've actually coded myself. Oh, it just disconnected for 2 seconds. Let's see, it's reconnecting. But You can buy a lot of the widgets. It just adds up really quick. And some of them don't exist. Like, I don't think the word counter exists. I haven't seen that anywhere. You know, you just got to dig around. You got to dig around. But so OBS is definitely a little more involved. StreamYard is a lot more direct, but it's just not as customizable, which I prefer. So she says, yes, I think that's a good idea. I think you're referring to the streamer, like a 20-minute streamer or whatever, or timer. Oh my God, I must be getting tired. I think you're referring to the timer. But yeah, I just think it'll help hold us accountable, right? Because also I feel like even for myself, a lot of times the live streams are the time that I have carved out to actually write. So I do want to make sure that I'm still like being productive within that time frame. So, I used OBS the short time I did some Twitch streaming. Yeah, if you've dabbled in it before, you're probably fine, right? Like, and it's really not rocket science. It just takes some time. It's kind of like the learning curve. It's not even this steep. I'm really exaggerating, but it's kind of like the learning curve for learning like anything in Adobe. At first, you open it up and you're like, oh my God, what the hell am I, you know, how am I going to use this? And once you just, you know, watch some tutorials, do a deep dive, take some time, like, you can figure it out. Saoirse says, yes, a timer. Okay, good. That makes me feel good that you're on board with that. I think we lost Ash, but hopefully Ash is cool with it too. So, bye, Masha. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and take this opportunity to wrap up with you guys. Like I said, make sure to hit that notification bell for the stream happening on Thursday. I also have a vlog that I put up just a couple days ago. So if you feel like supporting and going and watching that video, feel free. It is quite a roller coaster. I know quite a few of you have gone and watched it already. It's quite a roller coaster. It's quite an experience, but it was a fun one to film. And yeah. So, all right. Well, thank you guys so much. Reminder, this is my little sign off reminder, but be brave, be a light. Remember that you're so, so loved. And, oh, wait a minute. Hold up. Hold the phone. My group stream isn't Thursday. This Thursday. This Thursday, I'm on Joy's channel. Hold on. Your girl got all mixed up. I mean, I'm sure it'll all be on there, but I'm pulling up YouTube to double check my stuff because I don't even remember anymore what's going on. Let's see. But I think I'm on Joy's channel. My channel with Saoirse and Ash and CK is not until the 3rd. Yeah, that's the 3rd. This Thursday I'm on with Joy. Sorry guys, don't get it twisted. I'm on with Joy this this Thursday. We are on June 3rd. My bad. I will be sure to clarify that maybe on my Insta or something too, or on a YouTube post, but I'll update the thumbnail. You can still hit the notification button to be notified for that following Tuesday. I think the 3rd is a Tuesday, but yeah, for this Thursday, find me with Joy. So, all right. Love y'all so much. Be brave, be a light. Remember that you're so, so loved. Have a great night, and I will see y'all later.